Right then, Manchester United are back in action. We have got back-to-back games against Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa, which feels, I'm going to be honest, pretty weird to say, doesn't it? Like, Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa with freshly added Coutinho. Now, is he going to go straight into the team? I'm going to say no just because I have no idea. I don't know if there's any sort of quarantine issues. I'm just going to say no for now. But let's have a look at what Aston Villa are all about then. They're sitting 13th in the Premier League. Last 5 league games, they've won 2, lost 3. Beat us 1-0 at home earlier in the season. And how do they play? There's actually clear patterns emerging that show Gerrard, one, knows where he's doing, and trust me, that hurt to say, but also that he's actually really good at implementing the structure and making them play better, I think it's fair to say. It's also one of those where you go, I don't know what went wrong with Dean Smith there, because the signings that they made following the exit of Jack Grealish, to me, they was really smart signings. They improved the squad. They lost Jack Grealish, yeah, but I think they brought more players in, but it's not clicked. Anyway, basic principles under Gerrard, Christmas tree formation. Not said that for a bit. 4-3-2-1, in which the wingers come in field and essentially play like a pair of number 10s. Aggressive overlapping fullbacks to provide width, targeted pressing in the middle third of the pitch, nice little possession football. They go vertical through the lines, they look to get the ball forward, and defensively they've come really aggressive under Gerrard, and they operate a real high energy, high press. Team news, McGinn is suspended for the league fixture. This is the FA Cup fixture, remember. He's suspended for the league fixture with United, so he's no doubt going to start in this one, and McGinn's class. Ashley Young, remember him? He's got a broken toe, but obviously be desperate to face us, so expect him in one of the games, I would think. Watkins wasn't involved against Brentford last weekend, so I don't know if that's any doubts on his availability. And clearly, all of this is caveated with the fact that anyone can get COVID at any minute. So this could all change. So like it has been the last couple of weeks, my team sheet could be all over the gaff. Traore timed his fitness to perfection to make it in time for AFCON, so he's obviously unavailable for Villa along with Trezeguet. Predicted 11, Martinez, Cash, Konsa, who's decent. Mings, Target, McGinn, Louise, Ramsey, Watkins, Ings, and Buendia. Star man, for me, it's Ollie Watkins, top scorer for Villa this season. 5 goals, 1 assist, also a consistent performer. I like the way he knits play together, and we don't usually fare well against his style of play. He's quick, he's a bit of a threat in behind, he makes clever runs, especially in the inside left channel, and he's also a threat with the ball at his feet. He's a good dribbler, and he can shift it, and has got that knack of just managing to find a little bit of space, and that's a real good trait for players to have, where you go, how's he got out of there? They look like everything slows down when it comes to them, and they just manage to pop out somewhere in space, and I see that in Watkins. He is a good striker of the ball, both feet, which is rare, and he's a threat back post as he's really good in the air, and I think that's where United could come undone, depending on who plays. Villa's data, it's not great. It's the 5th worst possession in the league with 45%. Definitely more transitional attacking side. They like to get quick. They like to play it on the counter. They have scored 25 goals in this season, which is 9th. And they got a better goal scoring record than both Tottenham and Everton. So you got to expect some goals, but their 30 goals conceded is the 8th worst in the league, putting them where they are in the table. And they've got 309 interceptions this season so far, which is the 4th most in the league, which tells you that it's a low to mid block where they're looking to try and make you play risky passes. And this really matches well against United for a Villa perspective, not from a United perspective, but this matches well for United. Those interceptions with not quite perfect passes, especially when it'll be coming from, it's going to be Fred and McTominay, lads, just get used to it. Especially when it's coming from those two. That's where United are going to really struggle for me. They force you centrally and they try to cut passes, and then they spring out and play on the counter, and they're very good at it. They're 6th in the league for crosses attempted, and that's their fullbacks, Cash and Target, really getting forward, providing width and delivering crosses into the box. What's my 11 to beat them? I'm honest, there's a shock in here, but I don't think it's that shocking in the grand scheme of things. Big Dave in net. I'm going with Delot and Tellez because I'm going to look to try and get some width on them. Varane and Jones. I thought Phil Jones had a good performance. I don't think people have over-egged it because of how poor Maguire has looked, but he didn't look error-prone. And I love the emotion of him coming off the pitch. So he gets a nod for me alongside Varane, providing Varane's fit, because who knows at the moment. It's Fred and McTominay. Stop crying. It's going to be Fred and McTominay. And I've gone with Van der Beek alongside Fernandes. 2 progressive ball carriers ahead of 2 non-progressive ball carriers that are going to look to do the defensive side of work. And we can have those 2 do that. 1 go left, Fred usually, 1 go right, McTominay. And that can really push Delo and Tellez a bit further forward. And that means that you've got a forward base, almost like a gun line for anyone who knows what that is, where we can attack from. And we'll have, from right to left, we'll have Delo, Fernandes, Donny van der Beek, and Tellez all then putting balls into the box. And I'd like to say Cavani, but I don't know why Cavani's not able. I'm going to say Cavani. Cavani and Ronaldo. That's what our forward 2 should be. If you're putting crosses into the box, you've got to have Cavani in there. If you're putting crosses into the box, it's got to be Ronaldo. Do you know the big problem that is Cristiano Ronaldo? But you'll have 4 players feeding the ball into the box. From Delo to Tellez with Van der Beek and Bruno in the centre. What United have got to have in that 6 is movement, because that's what we've not had. Ahead of the ball has been an absolute abject lack of movement for United. But that's the sort of 11 that I want to go with, and this is how you beat them. You've got to have an extra man in midfield. Now, our midfield pivot, Fred and McTominay, they can get overrun by their midfield 3. So that's why Donny comes in. He's not quite as adventurous as Bruno, but he is more adventurous than McTominay. He can come in and be the slightly more attacking version of that, because Bruno, whether he thinks he's playing in midfield or whatever, the guy thinks he's a 9. So between the 4 of them, you've got to kind of box in their midfield 3. Get around them, outnumber them. Basics. That will give United a good place to start from, especially if the fullbacks come up in the mixer there. Now, it's been shown that they don't really have the quality for them to work against a team that have a lot of players operating centrally. That's one of the things that they've really struggled with. Usually against the 4-3-3, admittedly. But I think if we go with a 3-2, it'll be the same thing. The midfield battle for me is the reason that we are losing games. We're losing it because we don't have enough quality control of the ball. And now, considering how much Ralph Rangnick sort of went for the word control, he's just not fucking had it. And I don't think you can bring Donny in to play in one of the 2 deeper line positions, but I do think you can bring him in to play as one of the higher, more advanced 8s. So let's give him the opportunity. And I think that would give us a lot. Now, we keep getting exploited in the wide areas. We're going to get exploited against Aston Villa, I think, with the narrowness of the formation that we have. I could really get behind United going to a midfield 3, but I don't think we will. If we went to a midfield 3, I think we'd have a lot more joy. But then you've got the conundrum of what do you do with Bruno Fernandes? Because I don't quite think he's got it to be able to do the number 8 job effectively. But that's what I think anyway. I don't think you'll see the change in the formation. I think he's pretty rigid with it. He's going to go with that. And the other thing that you've really got to do against Aston Villa is create chances centrally, which sort of ties up with going with Bruno Fernandes and Donny van der Beek, because you're not going to be able to mark both of them and Ronaldo and Cavani. Their 2 centre-halves are sick aerially. They probably would welcome us spamming crosses in, which is why I wouldn't necessarily go with the spamming of crosses, but you'd look to try and get the ball in from wide areas. Now, if you've got 2 8s, 2 strikers, and 2 wing backs essentially getting into the final third, you don't have to go for an aerial ball towards the back post because they'll love that. But you can start looking at the little cutbacks. If you've got Delo coming along the right-hand side, Ronaldo on the right-hand side goes front post, you can leave Bruno just edging into the box for a cutback. That would be good positioning. That is something that they're probably going to have worked on the training ground. But that's a pattern of play that's very straightforward. Someone takes them forward, someone goes to the back post, someone goes for the cutback. You can even have 2 people coming for the cutback. Penalty spot on D, bosh. They do really struggle with quick, intricate play, and the cutback is the one that kills them the most. Runs in behind the forward, third man runs from midfield. You're going to cut them to pieces if that's what you go with. And even Sancho playing centrally there wouldn't be necessarily the worst idea. But that's what I'm reckoning. That's my 11. I think United can win this one, and Jesus Christ, I want to win this one. I hate Steven Gerrard. I hate him. I proper hate him. Irrationally level of hatred for him. So I don't want to see him win. Can you imagine what he's going to be like if he beats United? Can you really actually genuinely imagine? It's not about that, is it? Anyway, that's it from me. Cheers for tuning in. I'll catch you lot in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.